Pwnagotchi.
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 But what is a Pwnagotchi? And more importantly, is this a cute little cybersecurity learning tool? Or something a bit more worrying? Like capable of hacking people's Wi-Fi? Pwnagotchi gets its name from the gaming term Pwn, P-W-N, meaning to dominate an opponent, and the gotchi from Tamagotchi. Who remembers those slightly annoying little 90s toys? At its core, a Pwnagotchi is just a small device built from a few simple parts. You've got an e-ink display. I'm using the Waveshare 4 here, which has some standard female GPIO pin headers on the back. Then you pair that with something like a Raspberry Pi 2W or even a standard Pi Zero. And as I'm that way inclined, I had a couple laying about from previous projects. And just like that, you put them together and you've pretty much got the start of a Pwnagotchi. Well, at least that's the easy bit. With this, you need to get the software side sorted. And you can find the Pwnagotchi image on J.O. Felon's GitHub page. But I've got to say, I couldn't get the latest version to work, so I had to roll back a few releases. And after installing the correct drivers, and rather painfully getting the Pi Zero 2W to show up as the right Ethernet adapter, I was pretty much on the home stretch. Once it was all up and running, I could do a bit of configuring and finalising the setup. Things like adjusting the plugins, which you can see here, and then getting into the configuration file to mess about and change some settings. You can get batteries made specifically for Pwnagotchi setups. Pi Sugar do some pretty nice ones, but they're relatively small, around 1200 mAh, and I wanted something a bit juicier. So after a bit of Amazoning, I found this Anker battery instead. But naturally, being a tinkerer, I couldn't help myself. So I did some design work. I started off in Fusion, and after some measuring, drawing, and a few revisions, I've settled on this. An exposed Pi board screwed down with an e-ink screen pushed together. I 3D printed it in black. Test fit looks good. Sink in some heated inserts. Screw the Pi board down. Press on the screen. Power it on. And we're all sorted. And you can see a little bit of gap around the lid here. I'll adjust the model and I'll sort that out. So it's definitely not as sleek as some Pwnagotchi cases, but the extended battery life works a treat for me. But now I have a working Pwnagotchi, what can I actually do with it? The first thing I did was make this little guy behave itself by turning off its more aggressive features. By default, it will de-authenticate nearby Wi-Fi networks and capture what is called a 4-way handshake, which can then be used to try and crack a Wi-Fi password using such software like Hashcat. But what does that actually mean? Well, every time a device connects to your Wi-Fi network, your phone, your laptop, anything, it doesn't just instantly get internet access. There's a quick exchange that happens in the background called a handshake. Think of it like this. Your device says, "I want to connect." And your router replies, "Prove you know the password." And after a few back and forth messages, you're in. Internet. That whole process is called the 4-way handshake. Now, what a Pwnagotchi does, it sits there quietly listening for those handshakes happening all around it. But if it's in its default mode, it can actually de-authenticate devices, basically nudging them to disconnect so they reconnect again, which forces that handshake to happen all over. And when that happens, the Pwnagotchi captures the exchange. Important thing to note though, it's not grabbing the actual Wi-Fi password. It's capturing encrypted data, which can then be taken away and attempted to be cracked later using tools like Hashcat, as I said earlier. And because Hashcat is a brute force attack which works by making huge numbers of guesses, it only really works if the password is weak, or if you have a very long password list and you're willing to let it run for a very long time. So in simple terms, it's not hacking Wi-Fi instantly, it's collecting the pieces needed to try and figure out the password afterwards. which is why tools like these are often used in cybersecurity for penetration testing, to test how secure a network actually is. But as you probably guessed, that also means it can be misused pretty easily. But this is where things get a bit grey, because tools like this sit right on the line between cybersecurity and, let's be honest, doing something you probably shouldn't be doing. Used properly, a Pwnagotchi is a learning tool. It's used to test networks to see how secure Wi-Fi actually is, and whether a weak password can be cracked, which it can. But out in the real world, capturing data from networks you don't own, or interfering with someone else's connection, that's where you can start to get in some serious trouble. So for this video, and in general, I'll only be using it on networks I own or I have permission to test. That means no deauthentication without permission, no forcing devices networks without permission, and no targeting anything that isn't mine. How boring, sorry. Because realistically, the goal here isn't to hack Wi-Fi, it's to understand how it works, and why security actually matters. Now with all that set up, let's unleash this little guy on my Wi-Fi in the shed. Just to be clear, this is my network, which I've called Pi for this demonstration. To keep things under control, I've added all nearby networks to the whitelist, which basically means the Pwnagotchi won't attack them. I've also set a strong RSSI filter as a failsafe, so it'll only focus on very close, strong signals. And since it's sitting right next to my shared router, which isn't on the whitelist, that's the only one it'll be able to lock on. At least that's the theory. Hopefully, with that all explained, we can deauthenticate my Wi-Fi, capture a handshake, and then try to crack it. And you can see on the Pwnagotchi's screen here, it's picked up my network Pi. And now it's going through the deauthentication process. And there, that number at the bottom is changed from 0 to 1, which means it successfully captured a handshake. And you'll also sometimes see the screen pop up. And from here, the Pwnagotchi will just keep scanning, collect more handshakes until the battery dies. And with this setup, that's probably around 12 plus hours. So now that we've got the 4-way handshake, we need to actually use it. And this is done completely separately from the Pwnagotchi. All I need to do is retrieve the handshake file from the SD card, transfer it over to my laptop, and I'm going to use this command here to copy the handshake file across. And now for the fun part. The software that I'm going to use to attempt to crack this is something I mentioned earlier, Hashcat. Hashcat is a tool used to recover passwords from hashes, not by reversing them, but by testing huge numbers of guesses very quickly. And using GPU acceleration, it can try millions of password guesses in very quick succession. Me on the other hand, I'm using this old laptop with no GPU, so it might take slightly longer. Right, so I've got the handshake file here. You can see it's a PCAP file. Hashcat doesn't work directly with PCAP files. It needs converted into a format called HC22000. Luckily, Hashcat provides a tool to do exactly that. So I convert the file, and we're good to go. Next thing, Hashcat doesn't just magically guess passwords. It needs a word list. Basically just a long list of passwords to try. Now, this is a bit of a grey area, so I won't be showing where I got my password list from, but there's plenty out there if you go looking. So with the handshake ready, the word list loaded, it's time to start the attack. And just like that, it's cracked the password. That was quick. You can see here, SSID, Pi, and right next to it, the password, Raspberry. How original, I know. And to be fair, this password is ridiculously simple, but that's the kind of point. It shows exactly why weak passwords are a bad idea. So there you go, the Pwnagotchi. On the surface, it looks like a cute little gadget, but underneath, it's actually a powerful cybersecurity learning tool. Because what it's really showing you isn't how to hack Wi-Fi, it's how Wi-Fi security actually works. And more importantly, how it can fail. If a simple password like this can be cracked in seconds, imagine what can happen on a real network with weak security. But the key thing here to remember is, tools like this aren't inherently bad. It's how you use them that matters. And finally, before someone pulls me up on this mainly applies to WPA2. If you're using WPA3, you're a lot more secure. But like anything in cybersecurity, nothing's ever completely foolproof. Thanks for watching. Joe.